Hello. What is up, you guys? How are you, beautiful souls? How are y'all doing on this Friday? You see how I know the day of the week? Y'all know I never know what day it is. But what is up, you guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am back with another video. We're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about what you feel. Technically, we're going to talk about what you feel um, in my multidimensional regression session, but I am going to be connecting this with a very deep message, as always. What is up? I am live on my YouTube channel and also on my Facebook book. I missed you guys, especially my YouTube fam. Y'all know I'm trying to get back into going live more often again. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, then you don't know that your girl was going live every single day. So we're going to get back into something similar to that. Close to, maybe not every single day, but so yeah, I just did an MDR session. If you are not familiar with MDR, it stands for multidimensional regression. And I was cracking up. Shout out to this client if she's watching this live from YouTube. I was laughing in the video because she was amazed at her not just being able to like go into unlocked memories, but to literally feel them. and I get this reaction a lot where people don't expect to be able to literally re-feel their memories again. And so it's just kind of like a shocker. So for those of you who don't know, I do these MDR sessions, multidimensional regression sessions, where I don't just take you into a past life. I don't just take you to be able to speak to your soul team, where you literally are channeling through them and they're answering whatever questions that you have about your life or whatever. But before all that, the way that we start is I take you into forgotten memories. If you guys haven't seen me talk about this, I am a self-proclaimed neuroscientist. I came here being really obsessed with the mind and psychology and neuroscience. And so that's what I'm still into. I've done this in multiple lives. And that experience helps me to have a really vast understanding of how the memory works and how it's not just about your memory in this lifetime. Your memory that is in this lifetime is a memory that holds experiences from all of your lifetimes, from every single life that you have ever, will ever, and currently is living. So yes, even in the future. And so I love to see how we go into these memories that people forgot, and you get to re-experience what you're feeling, what you felt at that time. And so yeah, this client, she went into her age about like 10 years prior to this life. I mean 10 years prior to where she is in this life, and then like another 5 or 10 years before that age. And there was just a lot of emotions that came up, and we ended up stopping the session because the sound and everything. But I wanted to hone in on her shock of being able to feel it. Now, I had some people about a week or two ago who wanted to hire me to host, basically to do what I do for their retreat, and there was a little confusion going on. Shout out to them. I think they're doing an amazing thing. But being honest and being transparent, they most definitely did not know what I did. Like, they hired me to do what I do, but they never researched what I actually do. And they assumed that it was just meditation, because there's a really big misunderstanding on what meditation is. And there's even a misunderstanding when you hear somebody say that they take people into other lives. I feel like people often think that I'm saying that I'm like going to give a reading of people's lives. Like, I don't think that people realize that my clients are literally re-experiencing themselves in forgotten memories and in another body, like another self. I think that people are thinking that it's like that I might be like a reader that's tapping into like the Akashic records or something. That's what I'm thinking. So there was this company, I might say, and they really just had a misunderstanding about what I do. And what they wanted was they kept wanting to know if the people that was going to come to their establishment was going to really feel it. Like, that was a concern of theirs. They were like, are they going to really feel it though? Like, we want the people to really feel it. Will they really feel it? And I was like, did y'all look at my website? Because I'm thinking that maybe you didn't, because you keep talking about these feelings, and this is what I do. I'm like, you can just call what I do like feeling therapy. Everything I do, whether it is teaching a woman how to give birth without pain, taking someone into a past life, or taking someone into another version of themselves to heal their trauma and stuff, it all is something that you truly feel within inside of you. Like, I normally don't get halfway through the session without the person being emotional and beginning to cry, and like, it's a whole thing, right? So I thought it was so cool and such a reflection to go from someone having a misunderstanding about what I do to this client I had earlier, who we didn't even, you guys, the sessions are like 2, 3, 4 hours, depending on where we go. We were like 20 minutes in, and she was like, woo, okay, that was enough. She was like, that was real. I felt everything. Thank you again. I am done. And I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Like, I'm not going to let you just end it there. We got a whole thing. We got to keep going. So it's just to show you how much we feel in these sessions, and to also make it clear that what I do is all feeling. It's not meditation. Although it's close to meditation. It's a form of meditation, but it's so much deeper than that. I wish that I could take people into other lives and have these experiences with just like a little simple, quick, meditation. But it's deeper than that. And it's a really spiritual work. So when we're talking about feelings and how you're feeling stuff, we are feeling beings. We came to Earth to feel. This is literally like the ultimate thing that you came to do here. In other galaxies, in other timelines and realities, you are not feeling things so deeply. Earth is a feeling template. So any kind of like spiritual work, if it's not scammy, if it's not a bunch of me telling you that you can pay me to do a bunch of shadow work where you're going to be writing a bunch of stuff down, doing really basic like work, nothing wrong with that. Sometimes those things are needed, but I'm saying that it doesn't really, there's depths to this. And so when we're talking about getting into the feelings, it's so much deeper than that, and you came here to do that. What's up, Tage? Yes, you caught it live. What's up, sis? So yeah, it's definitely feeling, and you came here to feel. When you think about the language, a child does not have to learn how to feel. It's the one thing that a newborn doesn't have to be taught. We all know how to feel. Even if you don't know what you're feeling, even if you don't have a name for it, you are a feeling being. So when you're doing shadow work, that is bringing up the feelings and bringing up the emotions, and it's doing it right away, and you're going inside of your feelings to actually experience it, it's almost inevitable. Like, you can't lose with this. You can't lose with this kind of healing or this kind of experience, because what is deeper than you feeling it? Sometimes people get done with these sessions and they try to question if they made the whole thing up. And I'm like, let's see. You tell me if for the last 3 hours, you have been going through all these different experiences and feeling the feels within them, from you seeing the memories of you when you were 10 years old and you were 2 years old and all these different things. And you're crying and you're really feeling it. Your heart rate is changing. I can see that your heart rate is different now. You tell me if you made that up. You tell me if you think you made that up. Because if you did, you need a check. You need to be getting a check, because that's some real good psycho work that you're doing. So no, it's not something that you're making up. I think that people think that because we live in a reality that doesn't like, we are not really given the platform or the circle and space to be able to say like, oh, this dream, this dream was very real. This happened and that happened, or I, I think I seen, a dead loved one, or I spoke this out and said this, and next thing you know, I ended up having this money in my account the next day. Like all these things that we would think are very rare, or it's just not so common. It's just not really a thing. It only happens to the special ones. Those kind of things. We don't really have a platform for that. So I can understand why people do this whole session, and for all these hours, they're still questioning, did I make that up? We don't live in a society that praises our imagination. We're not adults who believe. We're like Peter Pan the movie, where he used to fly and then he stopped flying because he didn't believe. Like that's what we are. So it makes sense for people to be so shocked. I mean, she was really like, it's so funny because she was like, no, I don't think you understand that. It wasn't a memory. It was a feeling. And I was like, yes, that is a memory that you felt. That is what happens, because there are no memories. There's nothing that has ever happened to you in this life or in other lives that you don't remember. There's nothing. There's not one single thing that your brain did not download and retain that you have experienced. It's just that the way that the brain works, especially in this 3D realm, if you could remember everything, you would literally, like, you would be overstimulated. You would die. You would die of overstimulation. But these sessions definitely prove my point, because there's no way that you could go into those memories without you having the memory. It's just right there. Like, you're not reading a book. It's no one telling you anything. You are speaking to me. I don't even know what's happening unless you tell me. So people are talking to their deceased, spouses or grandmothers, and unless you tell me what you're seeing, I don't even know what's going on. Like, that's how much of a personal inner feeling experience it is. I'm literally just facilitating you. I don't even know what's happening. When we get to a certain point, I can kind of predict where you're going next. But other than that, I have no clue. It's up in the air. And I love that. I think that's another portion of this that I wanted to talk about. Is actually, that probably should have been my title. I just put whatever title comes to me. But it's about letting go and trusting. This is about to be the message here. Because there is so much of the facade of letting go. I don't know if I'll be able to articulate the level of letting go that is required for you to reach the potential that you're supposed to reach. I just don't think that humans really get this definition. I think that we think that there's like there's clauses to this. Like, there's clauses to letting go. But what it means is, like, a good example is like me moving here with my kids with no money. For those of you who don't know, I was robbed before we got here, so I didn't have any money. And me choosing to pay like $60-$70 for the Airbnb, because of course there's Airbnbs that are cheaper, but I don't want them. I want a really nice, luxurious Airbnb. And me having absolutely no fucking clue on how I'm going to pay for that, but letting go and allowing for it to get paid. Do you understand this level? Do you understand this? This is a level now, because I feel like when we talk about this, when we have this conversation, it's like, yeah. We all gotta let go. Yep. Just let it go. Don't worry about it. Just let it go and let God. But then I feel like the details is what is needed, because so many of us are not really letting it go. A lot of you guys are holding on to things, and because you let go in certain areas, you think that you're letting go here. Not only is the letting go that's required a thing of wherever you are right now and whatever you have up right now. But over the next few seconds, if someone irritates you, if your kids do something, if you find out that you're behind on a bill, if you find out that you're going to get evicted, if it's, I mean, I can just go on and on with the scenarios. Every single second, every minute. If you start overthinking, you need to let that go. If you start to think, okay, what if I end up not being able to have the time to go here and then I end up having to let that shit go. Like every single thing, I don't even know how else to describe this. Let it go. There is a opening of an abundance, like an opulence of opportunities and infinite possibilities for you when you practice letting go. And another good example that I really wanted to share is these sessions that I do. What a lot of people don't know is that I have never went to a day of formal training to take people into past lives, to help women give birth without pain, and to do the other sessions that I do, which is like splitting time, and it's a whole thing. You can check out my website to find out the details. But my point is that I've never been trained for this. I did not know that I was going to do this. I am like the poster child of letting go, because the only way that I've got to doing this is by whenever the thing comes up, however it presents itself. A lot of you guys are having your purposes presenting themselves to you and holding on to it. Oh, well, I'm going to do it, but it has to be done this way. I'm going to do it, but it has to be after I finish this course, after I pay for this, after I do this. Well, only if it's this. Well, I'm not going to do it because I'm doing this. So just a bunch of control, right? How I've gotten to where I am, which is really essentially being able to like live and do what I want to do, like do what I feel and what I really want to do. And I don't want to say what I'm supposed to, because that's control, but it's been me letting go. It's been when the thing presents itself, it's been me having to realize that I don't know what the hell is happening. I don't know what's happening next. It's really our ego when you think about it. When we're like, okay, well, I'm going to do this, but after this is done, this has to be done first in order for this to be done. This is all your ego. When you just let go, when you just let source, when you even let go of the idea that if you don't do it at this time, or if you do it at this time, you're going to either be doing the wrong thing or you're definitely going to be doing the right thing. Let all of that go. There is a level of my practice in every one of these things that I do, from my coaching to everything. There's a level of my practice that is so, I don't even want to use the word spiritual. What else could I use? I don't even like to use that word, but it's so free from ego. It is so free from me trying to say, this is how I must do it. This is how I must teach people. This is how they must be introduced to this. This is how I must take them. There is a level of my practice that is so much embedded in what source in you, in your higher self, because I have not even known what the hell I'm doing. I have just done it. I don't even know if that makes sense. But you don't know what you're doing, and you're not supposed to know. Like, you not knowing is an awesome thing. So then just do it. And as you do it, you're going to learn, if that makes sense. You're not supposed to be prepared, and you're not like, there is no such thing as that. You're not supposed to know things ahead of time. Just like you guys see me say almost every day, like, there's no mistakes. There's no such thing as mistakes. There's no such thing as doing the wrong thing. So it's such a calling on so many of you guys that are watching this, for you to really let go. I feel like, let me see if there's another way to say this. If there's another way to give this example of, you have to let go. You must stop now at trying to figure out what's happening next. You must find a way. There's many different ways, but you must find a way to get to the point where you're okay with wherever you are and you're excited about the unknown. I think the majority of us are afraid of the unknown. And that's because we think that we're supposed to know what's happening next. We think that humans actually really believe that if we knew what was happening next, life will be easier. And we could not be any further from the truth. Not only would Earth not be school, because how could you learn anything if you know what's happening next? But it actually wouldn't be easier. What's easier is just letting go. And we definitely come from a society that says if you don't have a plan, then you're not adulting right. You must plan out everything. You must have this thing together. A lot of us live our life through planning. We're like overly obsessed with planning. And if things are not planned out, and if we don't know the next 2 or 3 steps to what's happening next, then we don't even know how to function. Like we can't even do the thing. Like we got anxiety the whole time because there's not those future, the future steps with the light that's flashing and saying, here next, come here next. But so much of life is not like that. So much of life requires you to just trust the process and to be okay with wherever you're going to be. Because if you are not okay with wherever you are and wherever you're going to be, then you're not trusting the process. You're believing that you're supposed to be somewhere else. You're believing that you're not at the right time in the right space. You believe that at this age, by this time, you should have been doing this and you should have been doing that. All of this is creating resistance. All of that. It just creates resistance. It just takes you further back from whatever steps that you were going forward, because you have to learn that. You end up having to learn that there's no such thing of any of that. So before my session start, I stress this. And I know that it's almost like parenting. You can just talk about it, but it's not until a person experiences it do they really understand. So I'm always saying, we have no expectations. We don't know what's going to happen. And I mean that. In my practice, I did not know that I was going to be taking people into past lives. I didn't know that I was going to get this deep into neuroscience and know how to change people's brain waves to where it manipulates what they think is pain or what they think is trauma or whatever the thing is. I had no idea. The only way that I'm able to do this is because I'm just letting go and trusting the process. So when I do a session, I have this much expectation. That means that maybe I don't be able to do it. Maybe we start to get into it and you don't even get to go under. Maybe a fucking bird or a freaking comet hits my apartment and then it's a whole situation. Maybe a goddamn, like there's like I could just go on and on with the possibilities. This is where I'm at all the time, 24 hours, all the time. You don't ever know what's going to happen next. You don't ever know when you're going to get that phone call that your loved one passed away or that you just won $1 million or, like you don't know. So why are we living trying to control all these different aspects of things that we were never meant to know? You just weren't even supposed to. Like, you're not missing out on nothing. The only thing you're missing out on is the privilege of being excited about the unknown. Practice being excited about not knowing what's happening next. It's going to change your life. I really truly believe that I would not be on this level in my practice if I didn't learn that lesson of letting go. And I believe that my guides were right up front and center with making sure that I understood this. My journey just says it all. It just says there's no way you weren't supposed to learn this lesson. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't even seeing these comments. Speak, sis. Yes. I let go. I welcome the unknown. Yes. Thank you. See, I'm not even seeing these comments unless I have my laptop. But yeah, there's I don't even know, y'all. There's just levels. The only way that I think I can more easily or explain this is by giving those details. When we got to New York and we were supposed to stay in the girls' house for like 4 days and then go off to come off to Senegal. And there were changes that happened with the passport first, where I found out that 2 of the kids' passports was not ready. So I ended up having to do some stuff with that. I had to let go. And when the chick started getting weird with me, for those of you who don't know, the girl who ended up setting me up and trying to stop me from coming here, and I'll never, ever forget, because I took a picture. Let me see if I can pull up this picture right quick, because it's a cute picture. I took a picture I think I said something like, what did I say? And no one had any idea of what I was talking about. I think I said something like, let's see if it will come up. I feel like in this picture, I said something like, my life is lit. I was like, I didn't even know that my story was going to be this lit. Now, mind you, I didn't know what my story was going to be like. When I posted that and said that, I had no idea. I was the girl had took us to the store. She was like, I got to take you to a shelter. She's like, oh my God, the plans change. And now all of a sudden you can't stay here. I have to take y'all to a shelter. My kids and I have never been in a shelter. We've never been in New York City. So I'm like, okay, all right, life is stirring the pot. And she took us to the store. I remember going inside the store so I can get some snacks before she dropped us off. And I took that picture. I wish I could find it. I can't remember my caption though. I think it says something about my story. And all that I knew, guys, in that moment was that I was about to have a bomb ass story. I didn't know what was happening next. This means that for all I know, I could have got on the plane the next week. For all I know, she could have been like, oh, never mind. Never mind. Y'all can come back in here. I had no clue. But what I did know is that shit was about to get exciting. And I just want to encourage you guys to stay on that frequency of excitement, because what the hell else are you going to do? You're going to stress out? You're going to be upset? You're going to be sad about it? Like, tell me how that's helping. Somebody in the comments right now, let me know how the time that you were overwhelmed, that you chose, because it's all a choice, the time that you chose to be overwhelmed, overstimulated, stressed out, angry about it, telling the story over and over again. Tell me how that helps. Just tell me. If it helped, then do it. Do it again. Do it again and again and again if it helps. But I really doubt. Dang, I wish I knew what I said in that caption. Shout it. But I really, really doubt that anybody is going to tell me that it was helpful, because it's just not. And since you don't got no choice anyway, you might as well just let go and be excited. Just be excited about whatever it is that's happening. And I know it sounds crazy, but there really is a law. If you ever hear those monks, like back in the days, they would be like, it's not about the situation. It's about your reaction to the situation. They'd be like talking like this and being all like, but no one ever breaks down like what that means, like what that is. Let me show y'all. Let me give y'all a book. I always want to give a book reference. That's something I got to get up to do this. Hold on. Y'all know how I feel about books. This is the Book House, okay? This is a really good book. Read this book with your children. It's called The Courage to Be Disliked. This is actually a book that my mom had suggested for us to read. And me and the kids and I started reading, and we love it. The Courage to Be Disliked. This book talks about this. It's really dope. Children can follow along with it. It's a conversation between a young boy and an elder, like a monk-like elder, and he is sharing. The monk has been telling everybody in the village that life is really easy if you decide that you want it to be, and basically that circumstances don't matter. He's not saying that word for word, but that's what he's saying. And hold on, I gotta fix it. And so the boy is like, bruh, like, why are you out here telling everybody this? And that's not true, because people deal with trauma. What about the trauma? He's like, I have a friend who lost his parents or went through some type of trauma, and he never wants to go outside now. So what about him? His life is not easy. And so in this book, he just breaks down how your perception is everything. You guys have seen me talk about this, but this is a really good book that breaks it down, okay? And how whatever you are telling yourself about whatever that scenario is, right? Whatever financial situation, whatever relationship thing, grieving, or whatever the thing is that you're experiencing, whatever you tell yourself is what it is. And however, whatever story that you tell about that thing, that is going to be your feeling about it. And whatever you're feeling about it is going to be your reaction about it. And whatever your reaction is about it, it's going to dictate what the next minute, the next hour, the next few hours, the next day brings you. Now, the book, let me see. Should I say that it breaks it down? It doesn't break it down like that. I put it in real simple form. And I actually just recorded a video telling the same thing. That was a channel message. So I'll be sharing that soon. But basically, I'm sorry, y'all, because this net is annoying me. But basically, this book just shows how everything is about your perception and how you can let go of the story that you're telling and everything can change. I am, like I said, the poster child of this. This is something that I have practiced throughout my entire life, but most definitely in the last 4 years. It's to the point now where I can create anything in my reality, because after you do this so many times, you reach a momentum. So like there's certain things that have popped up here in Senegal that normally don't exist here because I just said that I want it. It sounds like I'm not talking about manifesting. It sounds like I'm not talking about creating the life that you want, but that's exactly what I'm talking about, because I'm speaking about you living in this holographic world and letting go of the negative perception that you have, allowing for whatever you feel to become your reality. That's the whole holographic thing. What that creates is synchronicity. What that creates is alignment, and that is manifesting. So when we go back to my journey, and here we have someone who tried to set me up and make it where I didn't make it to Senegal. She tried to make my stay in New York the worst experience ever. She was calling my parents, making fake pages, having a whole conversation with my mom. She was reaching out to my exes. I mean, this girl, babe, I always say, when you're dealing with a jealous woman, there is no power. Cause she got time, baby. That's what a jealous woman have that don't nobody else have in the world. Is time, okay? She will create the time and create the scenario, okay? This girl was doing everything. And everything that was thrown my way, I just let it go. I just let it go. And I started to learn that every time I do this, something amazing happens. Every time. I mean, I could have like the worst experience. And like, mind you, I'm stuck in New York City. I've never been to New York City. I have a 2-year-old. Let's not even talk about the other 3 kids. I have a 2-year-old boy. That's enough to say, right? Like, that's it. Like, I have a 2-year-old active child that I did not think I was going to be living in the Bronx with for a couple months. So my mind could have went in all these different places. And every time that it did, I just let it go. And every time I did that, something came up. A person would come up to me and hand me $100. Or I would just get, like the time that I randomly got the $500 from my account. Literally, the deposit said, you sent you $500. Like just random shit. This was 4 years ago now. So it's definitely taken me some years and some time to reach a momentum. But where I am now, it is completely insane how I am able to align and manifest the things that I want. And it's all because I practice letting go. It's all because of practicing letting go of what you thought shit was supposed to be. When you signed up for that course and you told yourself, I'm going to do 6 months of this, and after 6 months, I'm going to stop, I'm going to do that, then I'm going to get my so-and-so, and then I mean, humans. We are delusional. We are so delusional. It's so much ego. And your ego is not a bad thing. Your ego is here to protect you. Your ego says, I got to protect you because ain't nobody else out here. I can't see nothing else. It's just you and me out here. So your ego is telling you that you must create every step of the way and you must lock it in. You must give yourself dates. You must give yourself the only way that this can work out. You must limit yourself because that is a safe thing to do. But when you let go, don't try to, don't be an enemy to your ego. But when you let your ego know, you know what, let me just one scenario. Let's say you got a bill that's due and you about to start stressing out about it like you normally would in the past because it's late or it's about to get cut off. This is just an example. Practice not doing that. Practice being like, you know what? I feel so good. I'm not even going to do, if you would normally go drink or smoke, or you would normally get sad and start talking about it, if you would normally tell the story about your bills and yada, 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 try not to do that one time. Tell your ego, okay, you know what? You can take the back seat this one time. I'll give you the seat next time. Because you got to talk to your ego. Don't try to make your ego an enemy. Your ego is your friend. It's just fucked up. So on so many levels, okay? But it's trying to protect you. It's messed up because it's protecting you from fear, okay? So talk to your ego. Tell your ego, okay, this time we're going to try something new. We're not going to panic. We're not going to retell the story. We're going to really pay attention to how we're feeling, and we're going to change the way we feel. Just do this one time and watch what happens. I promise you. Like, you can email me, you can inbox me and tell me, Dayla, I did it and this is what happened. I guarantee you're going to start to notice that alignment is taking place. You're going to notice that if you have a pattern of financial strife or relationships going sour or whatever the thing is that you're tired of and you want to change, you're going to notice that when you decide not to have that same reaction, when you decide to feel excitement, to feel the joy of letting go in the unknown, you're going to realize that you're having that experience a lot less. Like, let's say that you would deal with it for a few hours or a few days. Maybe it would go for a few weeks. You're going to notice that the time is becoming less and less until the thing is happening less and less. And you'll notice that more of what you do want is going to start showing up. I'm telling y'all, I do this with everything. Like, I do this with snacks, okay? When we want snacks that we can't get because they are not here because we're in Africa and that's another planet, I have literally been like, I want that Trader Joe's snack. And I kid you not, my kids will vouch for this. We walk down the aisle and the freaking snack is right there, and they do not sell this thing in Africa. It is not a Senegalese thing. This is so simple and so funny that I'm giving this example, but I wanna make it real simple, and I'm also showing y'all big stuff. So we're talking about what you're doing when you do this. When you practice changing your reaction to stuff, and which is nothing but letting go. It's a synonym for letting go. Same shit. Changing your reaction to things is just letting go. And when you practice letting go, you reach this momentum, like I said already. And what you're doing is you're splitting time. Every time you're splitting time, because this place is not what we think it is. This place is actually in fragments. If you ever hear anybody talk about this holographic world, what they're saying is that this is a fragmented place. So everything is happening in pieces. Without getting too technical, a hologram or a holograph, a projector is able to project something on a screen because in the little machine, it's broken up in a lot of different pieces. So let me give this example. Let's say that I want to project this pen onto this huge white screen. I'm going to put the thing on the projector, and the way that this pen is going to show up on this projector, it's actually going to bite size this pen. So the pen is going to be the whole pen in a bunch of little tiny pieces. Try not to get too technical. You don't have to be a projector genius to understand this, but I'm briefly explaining how you are a projector, how what is inside of you is really what ends up being your reality. So a lot of little fragmented pieces is what this pen is inside of the projector machine. And it pops out with the light. It does a whole thing, and it looks like it's just this one big piece. That is the reality that we are in. We are in a very simultaneous, fragmented reality. And there's a bunch of little pieces, a bunch of little ways, a bunch of little compartments in different I guess you can call it like streams of realities. If I could explain to you, if I could tell you guys what I see with this, because I've actually seen some of my lives align in different realities, and it looks like a highway. It kind of looks like a strip. It looks like if this was a life, this was a life, or I should say, this is a reality, this is a reality. It's going like this. Okay, the dimensions, they're going across like this. It's not like a heaven and a hell or like a top and a bottom. It's not like that. It's all happening at one time and it's going across us like this. You just can't see it. And so what happens is when you have a decision to make and you think that you went left, you're like, okay, should I go left or right? And you go left. You split time when you made that decision and you also went right. This is what is really happening. And in my sessions, we can see this. In when you do a past life regression, when you do a multidimensional regression session, it is very clear to you that you are a multidimensional being. Because just like my client earlier, she was like, wow, but I feel like I was in that realm and I was also in this realm talking to you. And I was like, yes, that's why I don't call it past life regression. I call it multidimensional, because we're talking about the sound. You know, we were having technical difficulties. So she's like, you know, adjusting her Bluetooth, clearly talking to me like totally normal. And then she's also able to tell me what's happening in another reality. And it's really happening. She can feel it. She's crying. She's becoming emotional. But that's because you're a multidimensional being. So going back to the point is that when you decide that you want to change the course of your life, when you begin to make different decisions, when you start to say, okay, normally I would react like this, I'm going to react differently. You're literally splitting time. And in that split, you are creating a new reality. You're creating a new experience, new opportunities for you to happen. I mean, for it to happen. So I've done this with anything from like, I'm talking about, I wanted for the watermelon season to last longer. So anybody that is watching this and you live in Senegal, if you've been here for 6 years, at least 6 years, then you know that watermelon season during the summertime is normally really short. Now, I don't know if anybody's paying attention. I can't say if this is everyone's reality. Watermelon season is longer this year. And that is because I literally split time and I said, I want for the season to go longer. So it went longer. And even my Senegalese friend was like, the watermelons normally be gone by this time. And I was like, I know, you see it? Like, you see the difference? Like, but this happens to me all the time, guys. This is not the reality that we think it is. You can literally reach a momentum where the things that you want, from the most minute things to the biggest things, are just showing up and you're splitting time. It's just things that it's like it doesn't even really belong here. That happens to me all the time. It's like, wait, this doesn't even really go here, but it goes here because I'm here and this is what I wanted for this reality. It's literally just like that. Splitting time all the time. You're splitting time every single time that you decide to really change the way that you're feeling. It's a frequency thing, right? Let me go back and see if I'm missing any comments. So I know it's deep. Okay. Try to keep up. Let me know if you have any questions. It's like a crash course on this multi-dimensional universe. Okay, good. I don't think I missed anything. But yes, y'all, that's the message. Let go. I'm telling you, I would not be where I am. Like, I can't describe when people ask me like, well, how are you so brave and how are you so confident to do this and move here and do that? It's because I am not letting my ego run this show for me. I am really like, it's almost scary for me to try to say that I know what's happening next and that, oh, this is what's going to happen. That's going to happen. Where that feels safer to the average human, it feels safer for us to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to write this down next. And after I move there, I'm going to do this. And after I do that, I know that feels normal for everyone else. But for me, it feels completely insane because I don't know that. I'm lying to myself. We're all lying to ourselves when we're saying that. So taking the back seat and allowing for Source to run the show, it's just, I can't even describe how many amazing things will take place for you. Plus you won't be so stressed out. A lot of times we're overstimulated and overwhelmed because you're trying to do the job of God. Like you're trying to do Source's job. You can't see what's going on ahead of you. If you guys ever heard me give the example of you being a deep diver, imagine that you are a deep sea diver. When you came into this life, you agreed to do this really deep dive. For those who are into deep diving, you might know that in today's technology, when people do their deep dives, like in the Navy and stuff like that, they have a Bluetooth, and the Bluetooth is helping them. It's almost like a almost like a audio thing, helping to navigate them. If there's like any big objects that they could run into, any sharks, any big ships or something like that, they have a diving team that stays above the water. And the diving team is helping for the diver to navigate because you can only see so far. When you're deep into the sea and it's dark like that, you can only see so far. That's what this reality is. You have did a deep dive. When you decided to come through your mother's portal, you did a deep dive. And your guides, your higher self, you can call it your ancestors, your angels, whatever you want to call them, that's your team. And they actually know what's going on ahead. While we're like underwater trying to be like, okay, I can't really see, but I'm just going to say this is what's happening next. Okay, I can't see nothing at all, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this next. Like that's what we're doing instead of taking the back seat and allowing for Source to just. It's not even like I don't even want to say allow for Source to do anything. That's control. Just allow. It's just allowance. You're not even doing anything. You're just allowing. You're just taking things day by day. You're not like one thing I notice about people when they move here to Senegal or just to the continent period, they're always, even if they come here with their 401k and hundreds of thousands of dollars, everybody is so worried about where they're going to get their land from and how they're going to build their house. I mean, it's the number one fear, even while they have the money. And I always get this question of like, well, when are you going to get your house? When are you going to get, it's like the 40 acres and a mule thing. It's like it comes with the package of leaving America. You got to get your house and you got to get your land. And what people don't understand about my journey, and this might not even make sense to you, because I think that we just don't get it until we just get it. I do not want to actually move here and do this. I was instructed to do this. So by given instructions that I must move to Senegal and that this is going to happen, it has allowed me to really trust these voices that come inside of my heart. They don't come inside of my head. I can feel the voices. So you can too. You just don't notice it. You're just fighting it. And so because I've had this since I was a young child, it's very clear to me. Even if I had years of denying it, it's always been very clear. My memory of it has always been very sharp when it comes to me getting these instructions, right? So being that my journey has been fully instructed, I didn't know that Senegal was a country. I didn't know a soul here. I didn't think like, oh my God, I got to find a connection. Nothing made me do that because I was instructed to come here. So from my perspective, I'm not afraid of like, oh my God, well, I haven't got the land, yada, yada, yada. I'm having what you guys don't realize is happening inside of you. It's just that I am aware of it because I can hear it. So what's really happening inside of you is, oh, yep, she's going to get that land, or she's going to move to that country, and she's going to get that man, or he's going to get this financial freedom, and he's going to get this. It's going to be at this time. It's going to be da, 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 da. And they don't have nothing to worry about. This person has nothing to worry about. They don't have to think about it. I'm just able to hear what a lot of us are trying to like manipulate and create. So I don't have those fears. I don't think like, oh my goodness, I'm running out of time. I haven't had, yada, yada. No, I'm thinking like, just because everybody is doing that and moving over there, until my guides tell me that that's what I'm supposed to do. And I will know when they tell me, because you do know, you just have to stop like denying it and fighting it. That might take for you to take a break from social media. That might take for you to realize how much you really don't trust yourself, because it does have to do with trusting yourself in order for you to really follow and listen to your intuition, I guess we can call it. So I don't have those fears. And I think that it's just because my phone about to go dead. It's just because I can hear and I can feel the instructions. And I'm scared to, if anything, I'm scared to move without the instructions versus me moving with like how we normally would move without hearing from source. Normally, we are moving without source. I tell people this all the time. Okay, you want to know about what you need to come here, how much money you need, how much is the rent, how much is the cost of living, how much do you spend on food? But have you tapped into source? Are you really supposed to come to this country? Are you supposed to move here at all? Are you supposed to move right now? Like where does source be at in our movements throughout our day? Because if you're controlling your day and if you are not able to let go, then you're not including source throughout your day. That's basically like a tell all, like a clear indicator that can tell you. And normally you'll have anxiety about it. Normally there is some kind of anxiety surrounding that. And it's just because you haven't allowed for source to do what source is trying to do. I want to make sure I'm not missing no comments. So yeah, letting go, guys. If I sit up here and like, what good would that do for me to think about? Oh my God, where's my land at? Oh my goodness, it's been this much time. What is that? I'm running out of time. I just turned 30. How old am I? 35. Oh my goodness. I don't have a man. I'm not married. These are all illusions. There's no such thing as that. There's no such thing as time being ran out. It's just all human shit. Once you let go, I swear to you, just try me. Try me on it. Like, I will bet you how much money you want to bet. Let go of all of that, and you're going to see everything that you've been asking for. It's literally right there. It's reachable. It's reachable. People do this thing I've been seeing, like, where people will say, it's kind of like an affirmation thing. It's like, how does it go? I'm rich, but I just don't have my money yet. You do have it. It's right there. It's actually right there. It's in so many different ways. It may not even always come in the form of money. You might get where, like when we moved down here, after the people stole all my money, and I had this random woman reach out to me who was like, hey, I would like for you to pick an apartment and I pay for you to get an apartment. That's wealth. I didn't have to pay nothing. I never even seen this lady before in my life. But these are the kind of things that are available for all of us, for everybody. You came here to live a happy life. You came here to enjoy your life. You came here to be excited about your day. That is really what you came here for. We had to go through a lot of stuff, a lot of the opposite of that, because that's just the template that we've been in. But it's not that way anymore. Once you, if you're even watching this, if you're still on this live, then this is a message for you. This is a message that you've either been wanting to, maybe it's been showing up for you already, or this is a desire of something that you're trying to learn, which is how to live a life of ease, how to let go, how to not be so worried and creating resistance in the things that you want. You deserve that. You came here for that. Source doesn't want you to be afraid and to, live a life of struggling in survival. Okay, you're into Bob Jalal and loving every minute. I'm listening to you. Ooh, okay, that's vibes right there. Listening to this and the ocean, whew, yes, I can feel that. Like, you made me want to go out to the ocean now. Yes, if it's your desire to be next to the ocean and you're watching this, that's what you deserve. It's only like, how evil of a plan, or not a plan, but how evil would source be to make it where we have desires and we're just not meant to fulfill them? Like, that's like, I can't think of nothing more evil than that. For God to be like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm gonna let you have this passion and have this desire, but you're not gonna get it. It's just gonna be just that. You're just gonna live your life feeling stuck all the time and feeling like you take one step forward and 10 steps back. That's not like, that's evil. Source doesn't want that for you. Mm-mm. And you have to know, it's not a special thing. I mean, like, it's not um something that is like a unique, rare thing. Like, this is just, you don't have to do anything. Like, you don't have to write down what you want. You don't have to do a bunch of affirmations. You don't have to try to manifest. That's creating resistance. All you have to do is let go. All you have to do is let go. It doesn't feel good, let it go. I'm not playing, y'all. I'm so crazy about this. I'm not debating with nobody. I'm not arguing with nobody. I'm not like, I'm letting you go because it don't feel good. In my life, my health, let's talk about that. My health depends on me feeling good. The way that I respond to my children, if I have the motivation to show up for them, to go in their room and speak to them, to pull them out of their room and let's go here and let's do this, all these things that actually take a lot more work than adults make it seem like it takes, because it does. It takes a lot of work, especially if you have multiple kids. I am not able to do these things to the ability that I have been able to do them if I do not realize that my life and my health is depending on me constantly letting go. I must always let go. I must always let go of expectations. I must always let go of whatever thing has gotten set up, whatever amazing thing that I got that now it's been a few months or a few years and it looks like I'm no longer going to have that thing. I must let go. I must let go and I must feel good about it. It's the key. It's the key to this whole thing. That's one thing Africa will do. Yes. And teach. Okay. Say this. That was okay. No, that's good. You are not lying. I definitely have spoke about that in one of my videos. Living here has taught me to let go. It's the most amazing thing that this is such a major thing for me to teach. Like, I know for a fact it's one of my messages that I came here to help the collective understand is letting go. And I just don't think it's a coincidence that I had to learn that on the way here. And then I live here. Africa don't teach you nothing else but letting go. Like, you got to let go of everything that you thought, whatever you thought it was going to be in an hour. If you thought y'all was going to meet up in 20 minutes, think again. If you thought you was just going to go straight to this place and just straight there and straight home, think again. Constant letting go, especially when you come through here the way I did. I came through here the local way. I didn't come through here paying for luxury hotels and, not having to see the locals and stuff. I came through here like real gutter, real. For those of you who know, this will tell you everything. Senegalese people, if you're watching this video, my first night being in Senegal, I was in Ashlam Grayoff. Like, I went to Ashlam Grayoff. That's the hood. For y'all who don't know, that's the hood in Dakar. We weren't staying in there, but I went there. So that just shows you how my journey here started. Very, very local, very real, very much forcing me to let go, to not have expectations. When I read the book, The Power of the Now, I got a good understanding of letting go, but Africa up their level, right? It's different. Oh my God, it's so real. That's hilarious. Yeah, The Power of Now. I feel like I heard that book. I probably read like the intro or something, but I don't think I got it. I definitely have seen it though. Yeah, those all those books, like the one I suggested, The Courage to Being Disliked. What's another book? The Mastery of Love is a really good book, teaching you how to let go. And yeah, let me know if y'all have any questions. I'm going to. Why is it an hour already? Oh, okay. Yep. That's where I seen it. It's in my cart. I've been reading up on him. I don't know if I know how to say his name good. This man is popping up in all my studies all the time. He's like, he's definitely a master teacher. I've watched him teach a couple times. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So yes, y'all, that is the message I wanted to give. The sessions that I do, that's what kind of made me get to that message, because I always tell people, let go. There's no expectations. We don't know what's going to happen. You could go into a past life. You could go into a future life. We have no idea what's going to happen. And I just don't think that my clients really understand me, because it's not until you do it that you like, oh, that's what she meant. Like, you're not going to know. I really think that these sessions, when people ask me like what's the purpose, it's too many purposes for me to explain, but I really think that these MDR sessions, it's like a mirror. Like, even though it's taking you into your forgotten memories and into past lives, and you get to speak to your soul team, all this really cool stuff, but I think that the journey of me taking you there is also the journey of life, because throughout the session, and though any of you that have done the MDR session, you can vouch for this, but throughout the session, you're learning to let go. You're learning that there's this thing inside of your brain, like there's a wave inside of your brain that you didn't even realize that you can remember everything that's ever happened to you. And you have to let go of the idea that wasn't a reality. Like, I'm literally watching people as they let go, and they're like, am I really seeing this? Is this really what's here? Yes, this is really what's here. So it's like you have to let go throughout the entire process, and whatever you thought things were. Mhm. Oh, thank you. I actually have some availability tomorrow. Actually, if you're available tonight, if you're available in a minute, I'm available. I was doing a session earlier. That's how I ended up on this live, because we didn't get to finish. The audio started messing up, but my client was like, she was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know I was gonna feel it." She's like, "I thought it was just like a memory, but you're gonna feel your memory." That's what, like, you can't like go into your memory and not feel it. It's a very inner experience. This is why I love this better than doing a reading for somebody, because it's like you're doing the reading on yourself, and whatever you tell me, like, how can you be lying? Like, how can it be wrong? How can it be, it's just you're the one that's having the experience, and whatever your guides are telling you, whatever questions that you ask, you're the one that knows your deceased whatever loved one, or I can't see what's happening. You're describing it to me. So it's a very real experience. But it definitely is something that you can feel. So that's what made me come on here, because I was like, yeah, I think there's a misunderstanding about what happens. You definitely feel it. And that was funny, because we didn't go. The reason why it was so funny is because we only did two of her memories. We didn't go into when she was 5 and 1 into the mother's womb. We didn't make it that far. And she was like, oh, okay, I think I'm good. Like, I think that was a good session. I was like, Now this is a reoccurring client of mine, so I know her well now. So I was like, I'm not letting you. We getting back on this call. We doing this again. We just gonna take a little break, fix the audio. But she was like, that was already so deep. I'm like, girl, we didn't even go nowhere. Like, but it's you. It's the power of you. Yes. Click on MDR session. So this is the session that I'm speaking about. It's the MDR session. I offer coaching where it's basically a reading. I don't like saying readings, but it's, you can see the description there where I talk about my guides are helping to assist me. There's that. And then there's the alpha level meditation. That's where you experience yourself, like another version of yourself that you would desire, and you really experience it, guys. I have had people that want to move out the country. We experience them moving out the country, they move out the country. I've had people that want to experience a new job. We experience the new job, they get the new job. This is not no fumbo mumbo, this is quantum physics. So whatever your cells and your blood and your brain is experiencing, it really is happening for you. Even if your physical body is not going there, your subconscious brain doesn't know what's real and what's fake. So whatever it is, this is why you're so powerful. This is why whatever you say, I'm literally breaking down how words are so powerful, because your subconscious doesn't know if you're joking or not, if you're telling the truth or whatever. It's just whatever it is. And so you definitely will have the experience in the alpha session. And then the MDR session is the multidimensional. And that is where that's where you go into the past lives and stuff. I recommend before moving on to do anything, heal your past to make a healthy future. Most definitely. Most definitely, this is really important. It's really important for you to go through your past. It's one of the purposes of these sessions. The way that I explain it is like, for those of you who don't know, I was going to school for psychology. Like, I was obsessed with psychology. When I was in high school, I took psychology courses. I always wanted to be a psychologist. I went to college. I don't even know what degree I might have I could have my associates. I could have my master's. I think I might have been a few weeks away from, I have no idea. I have not looked at this stuff in 11 years. I don't care about it. But I definitely attended school and for years and did that whole thing. And then I dropped out because I was tired of learning about like Sigmund Freud and all these different men and people that don't look like me, and their studies. When you learn about them, they really got some sick histories. It's kind of weird that we're supposed to praise them in psychology, but it was that. And then I have been assisting people all of my life, and I didn't feel like it was matching what they were giving me. Felt very textbooky. It felt very on the surface. And I knew that the assistance that I was supposed to give people was supposed to be very deep, like a lot more spiritual, a lot more deeper. I don't want to say spiritual, but just more in depth, like going into where like words don't teach, going into their mind, allowing you to answer your own questions, going into your heart, healing from those past things. And one of the things that came to me, this is on my website too, where I tell the story about how I got into this. And it had to do with me starting off with the very traditional way of helping people and assisting, going from the school that I learned all the techniques from. And then me receiving this message that words don't teach, And my guides would tell me that they're going to give me a way to assist people without having to teach them stuff, without them having to write stuff down and do certain things. And I didn't know what that meant at all, but I just knew that I would always get that message. And again, letting go, me not trying to figure it out, like not trying to be like, oh my God, well, that means I got to do this differently. I was just there. I was just there and clients would come in. I had a whole illegal practice out of my house. Technically, I wasn't supposed to do that. But I was doing it and it was good. And I was helping a lot of people. And then, yeah, I started to get that message that words don't teach. And so fast forward, I ended up realizing that, oh, wow, like I'm doing this thing that is kind of like hypnosis. I'm taking people into another brainwave and it's actually changing the way that they feel. It's changing their reality. And then I went from there to people realizing, even counselors, realizing that they hadn't really healed from stuff that was coming up. So this is the difference to me between doing like your traditional life coaching and counseling and doing this healing work, because you might know some things that you need to work on. I, being a professional coach with a lot of experience and years of studying, I might be able to detect what you need to work on. But what source knows, what your inner self, your higher self knows that you need to work on is a whole nother level. And I'm not in control of that, and neither are you when you're going this route. We're allowing for your subconscious to bring up whatever it is. So no one is like navigating, no one is being the leader of where things need to go except for your higher self. And that's why, like, if you read the reviews, you'll see people talk about how they didn't know that they had things, this certain things to heal from. A lot of people come to me and they're shocked because they have done work for years and they thought that they healed from certain things, and then they find out that that didn't really happen. And that's just because words don't teach. You can only be inspired so much. But when you go inside of your brain and you rewire your mind, like when you are like healing your heart for real, and you are essentially like splitting time, like you're basically like revamping your nervous system that's used to you being in flight or fight mode, that's used to the trauma, is used to you having to defend yourself, is used to you overthinking. Like, this is not me inspiring you, this is me just getting inside of your head and just changing it. Like, it's real simple, like, it's deep, but it's simple. Let me make sure I'm not missing nothing. So, yeah, I've seen people heal from health complications, issues, to grieving. And it's too much, it's too many depths of me for me to explain all of what this can do. I mean, some people, they just needed to realize that life is not as dense as you're making it. I would even say that's one of my most favorite things that people get from this MDR session specifically, is that it's no longer like me like right now I'm talking to you guys and I'm telling y'all that circumstances don't matter. I'm telling you that if you change this and yada yada yada. But when you go into another brainwave and you experience your soul self, a lot of us don't realize that you can already experience your death before you die. It's not supposed to be like a future thing, because you're not experiencing, in these sessions, you don't experience a future death, you experience a past death, but it's still you having that experience of a death that you once had. And when you, in this lifetime, in this timeline, when you go through what it feels like to die, when you're done with this session, you don't feel so, you don't take things so deep and so serious anymore. You realize how light life is really meant to be. You realize that, things are a lot deeper, but a lot lighter, if that makes sense. A lot more depth to things, because you realize that there's a lot more things going around, but then you're not taking things so serious all the time. You're not like panicking over things that seemed really big, before the session, because you literally feel what you feel whenever you die. I talk about how I literally watch my clients go from like being on their deathbed and worrying about what their children are going to feel when they die or what they're going to go through. And then they go through their death, they transition, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, good. Everybody's good. Like, you ready? I'm good. I'm feeling good. No one's worried because in your soul form, you don't have all those things. You don't have jealousy, and you're not feeling all this regret and all that stuff. You don't have any worry and stuff. So I think it's a really divine thing that we are able, like there's a process that we are allowed to experience here on this earth that gives us that same experience in your soul form. Does that make sense? I know that was a little bit deep, but I don't think that that's a coincidence. I feel like that's like a lot of stuff here, like taking a shroom trip, certain things that are natural. What I'm doing is a natural thing. I'm not giving you any kind of man-made drugs. I'm not doing anything that's out the ordinary. This is perfectly safe for children. The first people I even did this on was my children. Um, a lot of children now in days are having this experience from pediatricians that are doing this to heal them from certain things like reversing autism and stuff like that. So this is a very natural process. And I just think that it's just one of those tools. Bashar, the channeler, if you guys listen to Bashar, the channeler, he would call this a permission slip. These are the kind of things that Bashar calls a permission slip. And it's basically where you just get a certain, what do you call this? Like a certain tool that you get to use to heighten your awareness about your experience here, to really help you to understand that you truly are a soul having a human experience. And this kind of stuff is important. So you cannot be living in this illusion, not getting caught up in stuff like the elections, not getting so deeply embedded in the things going on in the world that you actually think that this is your only life. You think this is the only thing and this is the biggest thing ever. And oh my God, if this doesn't work out, the end of the world, like it just allows you to not think from such a human perspective and think more from your soul's perspective. I think that's a pretty cool permission slip. So, okay, y'all, once again, I am live longer than an hour. I don't know how that happened so fast. I feel like it happened so fast. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Go to my website if you are interested. Let me see. I'm trying to remember to do this. You can go to earthisschool.com. You can also email me at dayla@earthisschool.com if you would like a session. Ask me any questions that you have. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Please share this live. Hit the thumbs up if you liked this live, if you feel like it was helpful. Yeah. earthisschool.com. Yeah, I knew that I put feeling on this title, but I knew that I wanted for the topic to be about letting go. I had just forgot. Any self-care advice? Self-care advice. My self-care advice would be to let go. That is my self-care advice. I don't think there's a bigger way you can care for yourself like letting go of anything that doesn't serve you, anything that doesn't feel good. I don't think there's any like spa days that you can do. None of whatever we would call self-care, yoga, meditation. There's nothing that's going to be more powerful than you letting go every single time that you are thinking too much, every single time that you are worried, any moment that you're like, okay, should I, oh my God, do I do this? Okay. What about, soon as you start doing that, I don't think there's any better self-care message or advice than to let that go right in that moment. It sounds so corny maybe to you guys because I say it all the time, but it's truly the key. Because what is letting go? Letting go is acceptance. Letting go is acceptance. It's like this message that I did not come up with myself. Acceptance is the greatest expression of love. This was a message that my guides gave me one day 2 years ago. And I was like, okay, get that tatted. Okay. I will get that message tatted. What? This sounds really deep. Okay, I like this message. Acceptance is the greatest expression of love. So that is accepting everything. If we're talking about your kids, if we're talking about yourself, your spouse, there's no greater love that you can give off. There's no, like, the true definition of love, which is not intimacy, which is not intimate love, you know, it's just love. It's just all is that is good, that feels good. Um, it's just no better way to display that than accepting. How do you message letting go to your children? You mean how do I um, teach them that? Let me make sure I understand your question. How do you message letting go to your children? Yeah, do you mean like how do I teach them that? How do I give them examples of that? I'm going to assume that that's what you mean, but let me know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, if that is what you mean, I start off by teaching my kids. Okay, yeah, good. She said yes. I start teaching my kids letting go when they are really, really young by showing them that I let go when they do things that we would normally panic over. hmm So, for example, I got an old video of this. Titus is 11 today. In this video, he was 2 or 3. It's so old, and he was in the kitchen when I was cooking, and he ended up dropping the turmeric that I was about to. Or it might have been curry powder that I was going to make curry with, and he spilled the whole thing. And so, using these moments really young as teaching moments to purposely not panic, to purposely give a reaction that is like, okay, that is like the best thing that you can do to teach children how to let go. Because the only reason why we are so bad at letting go, or put in other terms, the only reason why we over exaggerate and we take things that we didn't know was going to happen as such a deep big thing is because our parents did it. Our guardians did it with us. I will never forget the time I went into my kitchen when I was a kid. When my dad was raising me, I don't remember his reaction, but I remember dropping the cereal and I spilled the cereal all over the floor. And I just remember feeling like I did the worst. Like, this is the biggest, worst thing that I could ever do. He's going to be so upset with me. He's not going to like me for however long. He's going to be like this when you're a child. And my dad wasn't like mean or anything. He never whooped me or anything. But of course, he got upset. Of course, he got frustrated. And when you're a child, this is how you're taking it. You're taking the things that your parents are making it like it's such a big thing. You're taking it like it's such a big thing. So it's no wonder that we grow up as adults and we take things so big. We're overthinking every scenario. You went on a double date with your partner and you said something stupid. Now you think about it all night. Like, you can't even sleep because you think about something stupid that you said. Like, like I've given this example before, but it's just like we don't let go well because our parents and our guardians didn't let go. They really showed us really young to hold on to things, and that when things don't go as planned, it's a big deal. Let me cuss you out about it. Let me yell about it. Let me exaggerate about it. Let me make it a big thing. So it's a normal conversation in my house of letting go and of also being okay with making mistakes, or I should say, mistakes don't matter. Mistakes don't exist, and being okay with doing something that you didn't mean to. So I had to switch that because though that wording is important. Um, not being okay with making mistakes, just knowing that they don't even exist. So you didn't mean to do it. Don't even call it a mistake. It doesn't even exist. It's just something Okay. I'm here. Y'all, my phone went dead. I didn't even get to get back in there on my Facebook. Okay, hold on now. Dang, that's whack. It's whack, but it's so my fault because I just totally ignored my phone going dead like I do all the time. Let me let them know that we're going to end this in just a second, but let me let them know that that they can come to my YouTube channel. That's so wrong. But you know what? I had to let go. I had to let go of me wanting to get on here right away. Normally when the phone goes dead, I can't just hop back in this live like that. That doesn't happen. It just let me right back in here like nothing even happened. But I think I didn't push the right button to get in Facebook to my YouTube channel. So I just don't want to leave people hanging. But so getting back to your question really quick. Let me see what you said. I'm gonna put it up on the tripod. As a child, I was riding my bike in the rain. I got an ass whooping because my mother never understood how to let go. I'm talking about children, the beauty and rain. Yes. Now my grandchildren do it. Yes, I love this. Yeah. That's deep. Yeah, definitely letting go for children, teach them that, say to them, introduce this understanding to them that there's no such thing as mistakes. I think this is one of the most important ways or things for us to give children, because adults just have too much, we have too many centuries of believing that there's mistakes and that, oh my God, I made a mistake, now I'm going to be sad about it, I'm going to regret it, I'm going to have resentment. Like it's like the basis of all of our issues, if you think about it, because it allows it kind of like it creates the environment of not letting go. When you think about it, believing that there are actually mistakes, it creates the environment of not letting go. And it kind of, for me, it shows you how much we live in a world of not trusting source. It doesn't matter what you believe in. When you are feeling like that, when you are having a bunch of anxiety because something went wrong and all these other things that I was just mentioning, there's no way you can also be living a life of trusting source, of trusting the process. That's like an oxymoron. Like they contradict each other tremendously, you know? Believing that there are mistakes, it contradicts that the way that we say God makes no mistakes. It contradicts that. It doesn't mean that you're not going to do things that you wish that you wouldn't, but it does mean that if you do something that you wish you wouldn't, you can be accountable for it and you can accept it. You can learn from that and you can move on. But if we believe, like we've been believing, like mankind has always believed, that there are mistakes, what ends up happening? We end up getting so caught up for sometimes years. Sometimes people have developed an entire issue, an entire cancer situation or whatever, because they believed that they made a mistake with someone that they were with or whatever the scenario is. And so they live with that. They live with that belief that it was a mistake that they made. And it's just, when you just hear the word, when you just say the word mistake, it sounds like something that you're holding on to, that you're not accepting and letting go. So yeah, I would say for children, definitely introduce that to them. Let them know that there's no such thing. And if you are a parent that has, be honest with yourself. If you have been panicking over things, if you have been raising your children to think that, oh my God, this is such a big deal, and when things are really not, then be honest with them. Say, you know what, these last 10 or 15 years, I have really shown you guys that, you know, oh my goodness, you can't make a mistake and you got to be so careful and yada, yada, yada. But I want to let y'all know that that has not been the way that I really wanted to, you know, rear you guys up. I would prefer you guys to understand that there are no mistakes. I mean, this is so important on so many levels. I feel like the majority of my practice, the majority of the situations I have when I'm coaching someone through their, you know, through their ways, changing their ways, it's one of the things that I'm having to do is remind them that whatever you did in the past, it's okay. It was supposed to be like that. It wasn't supposed to go another way. There isn't anything that you could have done differently, you know? So I think this is really important to show kids young. We spend a lot of time on stuff that just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, after people die here, if you ever listen to people's near-death experiences, or if you listen to past life regressions where the soul is coming in and speaking through the person, they'll say, I spent a lot of time on a bunch of stuff that didn't matter. It's their biggest regret. They always, souls are always expressing how the thing that they wish that they did not do is spend so much time worrying and focusing on something that they didn't realize wasn't even a big thing. And so what I encourage people to do is look back in the last 3 months of your life, the last 6 months of your life. You're going to find a bunch of stuff that you were focused on, worrying about, trying to control, trying to avoid. And now all of a sudden you don't even remember it. Like, you got to go back and literally think about it, because that's how far off of a memory that it is, because it just doesn't even matter anymore. It's just not even as important as it was at the time. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool how life will show us that we was doing way too damn much and all you had to do is just let go and allow for stuff to happen? We don't allow for stuff to happen. When you believe that mistakes are a thing and I must do everything to avoid them, there's no way you're living in allowance. You can't. You're not in the position of receiving, and you can't live in allowance. It's just a contradiction. Okay, you guys, I can go on and on about this subject. Let me get off this phone and let my phone charge. I'm so mad I didn't get to, what you call it, give it proper exit. But that's how it was supposed to be for my Facebook peoples. So definitely, if you guys are looking forward to getting a session or coaching from me, you can visit my website, earthisschool.com. You can email me at daylight@earthisschool.com. And until next time, thank you for rolling with me. I appreciate you. I love you. See you guys later. Peace out.